Hey guys, welcome into today's video. Today is a pretty much Valentine's Day themed video. As you can see, I have on my Valentine's Day heart earrings that I only usually wear pretty much once a year. I want to play with the new Flirty Talk Collection from ColourPop. My package arrived yesterday, so pretty big box here. I picked up everything. This is only the second time that I've ever picked up like a full collection from a brand. And the reason that I wanted to get this was because it just looked super exciting to me. It's actually been a minute since I've tried a new ColourPop palette. I also want to try these like iconic heart-shaped compact blushes that I see everyone struggling to open for like years. So I'm excited to try those. I have the full collection today and we'll go through everything and we will test out the blushes and the highlighters and the palette and all that good stuff. So let's just hop into it. Okay, so you guys, I think this collection comes with 4 blushes. It comes with an eyeshadow palette. It comes with 5 powder highlighters. It comes with their glowing lips that I'm really excited to try. I actually think those released last year and a lot of people were really liking them, and I thought about picking them up, but I didn't, so I'm glad they're included in this set, and there are 3 shades in here. So it comes with this little keychain that says "Talk Flirty to Me." I mean, that's kind of cute. I'm probably not going to use that. It also comes with these heart-shaped markers that I'm probably not going to play with just because I feel like I'm like too old to be putting this on. They said that these were like a matte finish and like can last through all night's party or whatever, but I'm not partying all night anymore. So anyway, I probably won't put these on, but I thought that they were cute. One is a pink heart and then one is a red heart. There is the packaging and there is the red one. Here are the little stamps. They're really cute. I could see these like being really cute to do with like your eye look or something like that. I don't think I'm gonna play with them, but I do want to play with the rest of the stuff. So let's pull out the blushes first because I am dying to test out whether or not I can like open these blush compacts. I think the struggle to open these compacts is pretty much as iconic as the packaging themselves. There's 4 blushes and 5 highlighters. Why they chose to do that, I don't know. The first shade that they have looks like a pretty purple shade. This one is in Cupid's Bow. The other shades that they have, this is a really pale pink. It is in the shade Sweetheart. Then they have this one that's like more of a red toned blush. I think this is probably going to be pretty deep. And this one is in Woo Me. The final one here is in this really kind of bright pink and it's called Hot to Touch. The gardeners just got here and they're blowing outside, so if you can hear some background noise, I'm sorry. Okay, let's test this out. This is the packaging that everyone has struggled with. I'm interested to see if they've like redone this so that they're a little bit easier to open, because that would kind of be a bummer. But this is what the opening for the compact actually looks like, and this one is in the shade Cupid's Bow. So let's open this. That was like simple and anticlimactic. The thing that I could see would be hard is that it's just like a teeny tiny thing to like grab onto right here to kind of open these, and it slips from your fingers a little bit. And I guess like if you had long fake nails, it would be pretty tough. These are all just pressed powder blushes. This one again is in Cupid's Bow. This is just a really light baby pink shade. This next one in Woo Me is almost like a bright corally red. They're very satiny feeling, but they're definitely like a very powdery formula. They don't seem to have too much pigment. They seem like they're gonna be something that's buildable for sure. Here's the pretty hot pink one. This one is Hot to Touch. Wow, yeah, that's a really, really bright pink. This is a like really trending color blush right now. I think this is a little bit deeper than like the Dior Rosy Glow, but it definitely has like that purple undertone to it. And this next one is a really, really pale pink. This one is Sweetheart. There's the color there. And there is the swatch on the last one. I have to say, like, I don't think these are swatching the best. Like, they're overly powdery formula. So I imagine that they're going to be like quite buildable, but not like super pigmented right away. I'm just super excited to get these heart-shaped compacts like in my collection because so many people have had these over the years and I've like always wanted to have them. So the collection also did come with some Fourth Ray Beauty products. These are the Cherry Bomb Lip Scrub and Lip Balm. They appear to both be like in cherry, but one of them is the lip scrub and the other one is the lip balm. This is the lip scrub. This looks like very soft and nice. This doesn't look like it would be too rough on your lips. And I don't feel like anything hard in it when I'm like swatching it. And they distinctly smell like cherries. Just very sweet, very spot on cherry smell. I'm dying to try this like right now. Oh yeah, I can feel the pieces in it now. I've actually never had like a bullet like this for a lip scrub, but I think this is really cool because you can just easily put it on. I think it's better than like digging your finger into it and like doing it that way. So I actually kind of like this. I licked it You could totally eat that. Is that safe to eat? That's just delicious. Oh, okay, can stop it, Carrie. That tastes just like eating a cherry. So let's put on the cherry lip balm now. Same bullet, just a little tiny bit of pigmentation, probably not even as much as the lip scrub. So it's just probably gonna be like this glossy. It's a little bit of a stiffer formula, but it feels hydrating. Let's move on into these highlighters now. So like I said, there's 5 of them. Why they chose to do 5 highlighters and 4 blushes, when I first saw the collection, that was always like confusing to me. Like, why did you choose to do that? Unless it was like a range thing. So the first one that we have is In My Feels. And this looks like it might be like a light lilac shade, like almost a purple highlighter. Yep, I was right. So it definitely is just a really light lilac, light purple highlighter. These aren't overly sparkly at all. Like, they have a good sheen to them, but they're not chunks of sparkles or anything like that. So I think that these are probably going to be pretty natural looking. Again, that one was in My Feels. This next one is very, very light pink, and it's Love Struck. There is Love Struck. I like the way these highlighters feel way more than the blushes. They're so much softer, so much more creamy. That one is the one in Love Struck, just a very light pink. Again, no glitters or anything in it. This next one looks like it's gonna be like a pale white, and the shade is called Making Memories. Oh yeah, this looks like a highlighter that I would like to use. Crazy pigmented, super duper creamy, super blinding like white highlighter. I'm definitely gonna try this one today. I actually really like this next one. It's called Heart of Gold, but it looks like a pretty peachy shade. Like, it looks like it has a hint of coral, but it almost looks like pink. This one almost feels more powdery like the blushes. But yeah, it almost looks like a pinky shade as opposed to like more peach or more orange. And then finally, this one is in You're Glowing. It looks like it would be just kind of like the champagne colored highlighter. This is another one that's like super creamy, super pigmented. Yeah, it looks definitely like champagne-y. So there are 3 of those glowing lips that I was talking about, 3 different shades. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try these. I have Red Hot, Candy Kisses, and Tickled Pink. This one is in Tickled Pink. I'm going to resist the urge to put this on my lips immediately and wait until we have the completed eye look done, and I'll just like let this balm sink in. There is the Tickled Pink shade. It's definitely not as creamy as I thought it was gonna feel like swatching it. This is a beautiful mauve shade. This one is in Candy Kisses. This looks like something I would really like. That's a beautiful, beautiful like mauve shade there. They smell like fruit. Not exactly like cherries, but definitely like fruit. The scrub and the balm definitely have a scent to them. Let's see. But the powder highlighters and blushes like aren't scented. This next one is in the shade Red Hot. So I'm imagining it is a like rosy colored shade. And it almost looks like a little bit berry toned. Wow, that one almost reminds me of like the Clinique Black Honey. There are the shades there. I like these 2 shades. This one I probably wouldn't wear like on an everyday basis, but this one is just gorgeous. They also threw in this E13 like shader brush. And I do have like a ColourPop collection of brushes. So I'm a fan of those. I think they're pretty good quality. This was just like a free gift with purchase. Fine, you could have given me more than one, but I'll take it. And finally onto the Flirty Talk palette. I'm really excited for this because I love pinks, I love reds, just my kind of eyeshadow color story. Here is the packaging on this. It's cutesy. It is a 12 pan eyeshadow palette. With the design, it does open this way. There is the color story. If I had to guess, I'd say this is probably like the only Super Shock shade in this palette. The rest of them look like their standard shimmer formula. Cool, so the camera and its technical difficulties was not recording and I started to swatch the palette. So yeah, I really like this color story. I like the way that they've laid this out, and I just really think that you can make complete sense of like creating an eye look out of this palette. So I really am excited to try it, but I do want to swatch it first, and I am going to do it from left to right, top to bottom, and I can already tell you that these are going to be super staining because I had a hard time like getting them off just so that I could start over. So this first one is like just a matte red shade, and this is Little Red Dress. This next one is like your matte pink shade. This is Your Fave. This next one is a really light pink shade. This is Head Over Heels. This never pulls on a swatch on me because it's just so pale pink against my skin. Hopefully you can see that. This next one is the matte white shade. This is On Your Mind. I'm gonna swatch in this mirror so I can see it a little bit better. This is the deepest shimmer, not a Super Shock, but it is very creamy. This is You Up. The next deepest shimmer shade, this is Blushin'. I like that one. Another shimmer. This is Cuddle Up. This is the one that I feel like is a super shock, super wet. This one is Be Mine. This one is called Heart Emoji. It's a really like burgundy matte shade. Oh, that sucked. I'm going in for like take 2 of that one. It was on my ring finger, so it was probably my fault. This is the deepest like red shimmer shade. This one is almost like the matte with a tiny bit of like micro glitters in it is what it feels like. ColourPop does that quite a bit. I think I just discovered like a super shock. Like, I'm not even sure. This feels like a jelly much. Like, this is weird. This is like a white shimmer, but it's a shifty one. Let me show you what it did in the pan. Can you guys see what I've done to the white shade there? Like, why is this like a putty? This is like a goopy ass mess. What is this? That doesn't feel like a super shock. It literally feels like a cream, potted cream shadow. Can you guys see when I like stick my finger in it? It's like honestly wet. I'm going to the website. Like, I don't understand what that shade is. So it says matte, metallic, matte sparkle, which is the one that I said that has like micro glitters in it. Pearlescent glitter, which I think is that pink one. And then the super shock, which is the white one. This just doesn't feel like any super shock shadow that I've actually tried before. Like, it's much more putty, less reflective. Like, it's very, very wet. Like, almost like this isn't formulated exactly the same as the super shock. It's quite bizarre, honestly. See what I just did? Like how wet it is? Like, I can move this around. Something is up with this shade. This is not your normal like super shock formula. It's almost like I got a bad one. It's creepy and I'm not here for it. Like, I don't like the way that that felt at all. But overall, guys, there is the color story. It's obviously very burgundy, very red. Couple of pinks in there, not an overly pink palette. Honestly, there's a lot of darker shades in here. I think this is gonna be a super staining formula. I hate that white shade. I loved that pink one, which is the metallic glitter. And I did forget to mention, like, you can purchase all of these like individually, and then they come as sets too. Like, you can get the blushes all together, you can get the lip products all together, that sort of thing. But I did purchase the whole collection. It was $141 roughly, but I did use like a discount code, so I got like, I don't know, 10% off on it. I'm on their website and it's like hard to find the whole collection now, like for purchase, but it's super easy for me to like find all of the different like sets. Like, you can get the blush set and whatnot. But yeah, I think that just saved me money doing it that way. I'm really excited to start playing with this. So let's set the eyeshadow palette aside, get into playing with some of these blushes after I try and get this off of my arm. I'm looking at the blushes and I think the 2 that I want to try are the more like red shade, and then the one that's kind of a really popular color right now. Like, I want to test this out and kind of see how it compares to some of the other blushes that are releasing like this, like the Dior Rosy Glow. And I think I will exclude the Sweetheart one that's just a lighter pink, and then the Cupid's Bow, which is like that lilac-y shade. I do have an F30 ColourPop brush, so I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to put the like more red shade on the red side. I'm done, right? Like, that's it. That's all you need. They're really pigmented. I said that they were going to be buildable based on the way that they kind of felt, but I don't think so. And they're easy to blend. Even though I think it's pigmented and I said that it wasn't buildable, I do think it's buildable. I think you can get this deeper so that it can go on just a variety of skin tones. I'm just going to use the same brush, but I'm kind of like brushing it off. And I'm going to do this more like hot pink, I guess. What did you call it? On this side. By the way, I go pretty heavy on my blushes anyway, so like buildable or not, I don't really care. Like, you can come pigmented right out of the gate. If you just want to roll into the driveway with a bunch of pigment, like, I'm cool with that. Or if you want to be buildable, just sit here for a little bit longer until I get it to where I want to. Like, these are just a matte finish. They're not shimmery. They have no sheen to them whatsoever. I want to do the highlighters next. I think I'm going to use this one first. This one is in Heart of Gold. That's almost that like coral peachy shade that pulled a little bit pink. And then I'm going to go into the Making Memories one that was just like that pale one that just swatched the absolute best. I think that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to exclude the You're Glowing, which was like the champagne-y one, the Love Struck, which is the light pink, and then the In My Feels, which was the lilac shade. So let's go into the Making Memories one. I also have another ColourPop brush. It's the F33 brush. This one I use for highlighter all of the time. I'm going to do this side first, I think, and then we'll do the more peachy color over the reddish blush. I almost feel like this has like a hint of blue, like it pulls a little bit blue. And if I kind of look at it and I shift it, like I can see that there's almost some blue in it. So in case you guys were wondering, this is not like a full pale shade, but not overly glittery. We know ColourPop can do a good highlighter. So next, going into the Heart of Gold one. The names are like interesting. Heart of Gold. You think you'd almost put that one on like this one that pulls more champagne or more gold, but no, they didn't. This one's your glowing. Okay, applying it to this side. I'm almost wondering, like, am I gonna see it on top of this pretty dark blush? Am I crazy? But I just don't see it as much. This one I'm like really building up to get. If I'm gonna go for like a colorful highlighter, I want it to be something that doesn't have a lot of sparkles in it. And I don't think that these do. Like, I definitely think that these are more natural looking highlighters that you can have a variety of shades in if that's something that you like. Time to go into the eyeshadow palette. I'm telling you guys, I have single ColourPop Super Shocks and I have a ton of palettes that have Super Shock shades in here. This one is weird. This one feels, I'm telling you, like a Jelly Bunch shadow. It's so much more putty and physically wet. Physically, my finger just from like grazing it now is like oily, is like a greasy mess. And so while Super Shocks are normally very pliable and movable, this is something different. This is not the same Super Shock formula. If you guys were watching me earlier and you're like, yeah, that's what Super Shock is like, I'm telling you, this is different. Like, I can even pull out some of mine now. This one shade here is totally disgusting. This is totally an unusable shade for me. I am going to go into this shade first as a transition. Then I'm gonna pull this one in the crease. Then I'm gonna do this one in the outer corner. It looks beautiful, like a magenta. And then I'm gonna pull this shimmer blush in over top of it in the outer corner. And I'm definitely going into this pink metallic shimmer here in Be Mine. Man, that is good ColourPop quality. I have to say, like, when you're dealing with red shades or just deeper shades in general, some of the time they will, like, you know, when you're packing them on or you're applying them and kind of blending them out, they'll transfer to like my lower lid, but I didn't get anything like that with this. I always like to kind of blend in my outer corner where I'm like deepening it up, blend these two shades together, and they literally like 2 swipes and they were perfectly blended, like the way that I like it blended, without starting to look muddy and become kind of patchy, which sometimes happens. Like when I'm trying to blend some of the deeper shades out, that can like tend to happen. But man, this is one of those good ColourPop like formulas. There are like some palettes that are like red shaded or dark pink that can be a little bit difficult to work with. And I think that this color story, just the formulation in general, for something that is this color story, they did a really, really good job. Super beginner friendly, super easy to work with. I can tell you that I'm gonna love reaching for this. It's just uncomplicated. Like, that's a good quality palette in my opinion. What I did do is I took that deeper magenta matte shade in Your Fave just on the lower lash line, and I started in the outer corner and I just smoked it in because I do not want it too dark. I am going to put on my Make Beauty waterproof eyeliner. This one's in the shade Otherworldly. It's like a gold shade. I'm gonna do this in my waterline. I'm gonna throw on some mascara and we are going to come back. I threw on my Lash Princess mascara. Let's go into these lippies. I'm just gonna use the one that I really liked, which was in the shade Candy Kisses. I'm really excited to try these on my lips. It's kind of falling apart. Did I go a little too hard? Look, it got chunky. Huh. I think that one's actually pulling a little bit more pink than I thought it was going to, like more than it is just mauve. And it's not as glowy as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was going to be more glowy than that, but I guess not. So let me do a final wrap up on everything, and I'll start with how I kind of put everything on. So I thought the lip scrub was really comfortable. I like when it comes in a bullet like this, and it tastes delicious. It tastes just like cherries. The 43 Beauty Cherry Lip Balm, again, just like cherries. This was very, very comfortable. I quite liked this. So I'm glad they threw these into the collection. Can't talk too much about these like cutie marks. I think they're cute and nice that they threw them in here. It's just not something that I will wear. I'm not going to a meeting or the grocery store with like a pink or red cutie mark on, but they're cool. They were really difficult to get off the back of my hands. I can tell you that they'd probably be very long lasting. In terms of the blushes, I really like having these like compacts in my collection now, so I'm probably not going to want to like break up this set, but it's probably not like all the shades that I would normally wear. I liked this one, this more red tone, and I did like this hotter pink one. It's nice, like it looks good with this look. And it does look good on my skin tone. Do I think that there's more than one blush here that can work for like deeper skin tones? No, not at all. This one I think you could use if you built it up. Overall, I thought that they were good quality. They're pigmented, they're buildable, they were nice, and I will update you on how long they last. In terms of the highlighters, you guys, some of these shades I don't absolutely love, and the formulas don't seem to be consistent. They don't seem to all be exactly the same. Some of them seemed like they were more wet and easy to apply, and then some of them seem like a little bit harder pressed. Again, I think here you're missing like a deeper shade for darker skin tones. Like, how could you not kind of say that? That's a little bit of a bummer. Like, look how natural they look without having like glitters in them. So that is nice. I do like that. The eyeshadow palette was my favorite. I love this. I didn't pull from this row as much. I think I took this shade in the outer corner to try and deepen up over the matte, and I did like it, but other than that, I really didn't dip into this row. So I got a like more pinky burgundy look rather than a red one. I wish they had more of this formula, this metallic shimmer in here, just like one other one that was like that. I think it's super reflective, and while it's like chunky, it was like super easy to work with. Like one of the easier metallic formulas that I've tried recently. But this Super Shock is super weird. Super weird. Like, it's just not the same that I'm used to. I'm telling you guys, it feels and looks like a Jelly Much shadow. It's just like, ooh, it's wet. Like my finger's soaked. Like, I can't even describe it any other way. It doesn't feel the same. Like, this might have been like a bad palette, and hopefully they're not all like this because it was funky. But other than that, there was no cleaning up that I had to do with this look. It's just like ColourPop sometimes absolutely nails it, and I think this was an absolutely nails it palette in my opinion. These lips, I mean, I only tried the one, right? And I've been wearing it for all of 3 minutes now, but I feel like I thought that they were gonna be like more glossy than this. Are they comfortable? Totally comfortable. Does it have like a good amount of pigmentation? Yeah, but it was harder for me to like get on. I was definitely like, okay, I'm gonna keep building, I'm gonna keep building. And then I broke one. So like, it's just a stiffer formula than I thought is I think like the sum of it. That is everything. I am so pleased I bought this collection. I think it's a high price point. I think you need to like want to have all of these like highlighters and these compacts in your collection, right? Like, you're gonna want to be a collector to need to pick up all of these. Do I think you need to? Absolutely not. Was it fun to play today? Yes. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. I hope you guys are having a great new year so far, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.